Hello everybody, my name is Kara. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a book haul for you guys, containing all the books I've bought in the last few months or so. A lot of them are from some Barnes & Noble trips because I had a lot of coupons and some things were on sale and you know how they get you. And then the rest are from 8 books and 1 from Amazon. So the first book I picked up was Moxie by Jennifer Matthew. Now this has been getting a lot of buzz recently. It's sort of a contemporary, but more importantly, it's about a girl revolution. Our main character, Vivian Carter's mother, was a riot girl. When Vivian notices that there is rampant sexism at her school in Texas, she decides to do something about it. She starts up a zine and unwittingly starts a feminist revolution at her school. This sounds amazing, and I am really looking forward to reading it, and I've heard such good things. The next book I picked up is Red Rising by Pierce Brown. This is the first book in the Red Rising series. So I have been hearing about these books for a really long time, but I wasn't really motivated to pick it up because I thought it was pretty much a straight dystopian, and I don't really tend to enjoy those. But then I heard it's not really the point of the story, and I'm just really excited to finally get to it and see what all the hype is about. Next, I picked up The Unknown Ajax by Georgette Heyer. Now, Georgette Heyer writes Regency romances and also some mysteries, and I am continually on a quest to find a book of hers that I love as much as Cotillion. And so far that hasn't happened, but I'm hopeful about this one because this is more of a mystery-focused novel, and I've heard that the characters are really great and that it's really just a fun read. And I feel like Georgette Heyer has really nailed the witty Regency style, like, you know, that Jane Austen excelled at so much. So I think I'm going to enjoy this one. The next book I picked up is Princess of Thorns by Stacey J, which I have actually already read and loved. I gave it 4.5 stars. This is not a fairy tale retelling, so don't listen to what it tells you on Goodreads. We actually follow the daughter of the character we know as Sleeping Beauty, and it's really, really enjoyable. The writing is great. The plot is really unique. For the most part, I really, really enjoyed both of our main characters. I talk about it a little more in my October wrap-up, so I will link that down below in case you're interested, but highly recommend this one. It's a strange fantasy novel, but it's such a good one. The next book I picked up is actually a graphic novel, and it is Piper by Jay Asher and Jessica Freeberg, and it is illustrated by Jeff Stokely. And this one had such an interesting concept. I didn't want to know too much about it going in because it is so short, as it is a graphic novel, but it seems like we follow our female main character who meets a mysterious sort of fairy tale character just called the Piper. And she, of course, falls for him, but it turns out that he could be more dangerous than she realized. And this just, it seems like it's going to be a great deconstruction of that sort of supernatural boyfriend idea. It can be really common in fantasy books. I think it might be sort of a retelling of the Pied Piper story or character, so I'm really looking forward to that. The next book I picked up is The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden, and I believe this is a retelling of the story of Vasilisa the Beautiful. I deliberately didn't read too much about the synopsis because I really want to go in blind to this one. And I think it's been getting pretty good reviews, but I haven't even looked it up because I'm so determined to enjoy this. It seems like it's going to be a really atmospheric, Russian-inspired fantasy, and I'm really excited. Next, I picked up Tash Hart's Tolstoy by Catherine Ormsby. And I finally found this one in stores. I know I could have ordered it online, but I really wanted to just pick it up in person for whatever reason. And finally they had one in stock. This is a contemporary story about our character Tosh, who has a web series that is a modern adaptation of Anna Karenina by, of course, Leo Tolstoy. And one day her series just sort of blows up because a popular YouTuber recommends it. So she is sort of dealing with the implications of that and what it means for her and everything. And she's been talking to this boy online, who is also, I believe, a content creator online. And she has a crush on him. But it's complicated for her because she is asexual. So she has to decide if and how she's going to come out to this person that she has romantic feelings for. And she doesn't know how he's going to respond to it, and she's really afraid about what that's going to do to their friendship or relationship. I am really excited to read this. I've heard good things about the representation too, so I'm hoping that I really enjoy this. The last book in the Barnes & Noble chunk is Natasha Pierre and the Great Comet of 1812. The Journey of a New Musical to Broadway. This was sort of an impulse purchase because I have not seen the show. I love the cast album, and I've been following sort of news of the show, and this was on 50% off clearance, so I decided to get it because I love this show so much and it means so much to me. It's got rehearsal photos and cast bios, and I'm so excited to have this and sort of read through it in little bits and pieces. I also randomly picked up a book from Amazon, and that is The Jane Austen Project by Kathleen A. Flynn. So this one, just the concept sounded so cool to me that I decided I needed to read it. It's basically a time travel novel that is set during Jane Austen's time, and our two main characters are from the future, and they are trained to go back in time and sort of rescue, I think, objects or works of art that are in danger. So they are trained and sent back to retrieve an unfinished novel by Jane Austen. And then, of course, when they get there, they're confronted with the fact that they know Jane is going to die, and they've been strictly told about what things they are not allowed to change. And of course it's different when they actually get to know her as a person. And I believe there is also a romance between Rachel and Liam, who are our two time travelers. And I don't know, this just sounded like such a cool concept, and I hope it's executed as well as I think it's going to be. So I'm really looking forward to this one. And then the last few books are all kind of separate orders that I made from Aid Books. The first one is Flora's Dare by Isabeau S. Wills. This is the second book in a trilogy. It's a really strange one. In the first book we follow a girl and her crazy sort of magical house, and some creatures that she meets along the way, and her really weird family. And this is such an interesting book, but it's really hard to describe satisfactorily. And the world building is really interesting because there are Aztec elements, and then there are some elements that are based on when the Spanish owned California, and sort of like this really creative sort of magical / historical empire. It's really hard to explain, but I really enjoyed the first book and I'm looking forward to continuing this one. The next book I picked up is Heart's Blood by Juliet Marillier. Now, I read Wildwood Dancing by this author and I absolutely loved it. I believe this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and it's supposed to be one of the best ones that has been written. It's one that I always hear people talk about with lists of like best fairy tale retellings and everything, so I'm really hoping that I enjoy this. I think this will be a really great book to read during the winter with like a snuggly blanket and some cocoa, and feels like it's going to be very atmospheric. The next book I picked up is The Disreputable History of Frankie Landau Banks by E. Lockhart. Now this is actually, I think, a similar storyline to Moxie, which I showed earlier. There's, I believe, a feminist revolution, a huge emphasis on girl power, and I'm really excited to get to this one. And this is another one where I kind of didn't want to know too much about the story because it's a contemporary. Next, I picked up The Book of 1,000 Days by Shannon Hale. I recently read the first in her Books of Bayern series, which is The Goose Girl, and I really enjoyed it. So I really wanted to get into reading some of her other books, and this one just really appealed to me. I'm not sure if this is a fairy tale retelling of Rapunzel or if it's just a similar setup, but the tagline on the back says, "This is no ordinary fairy tale. The hero isn't charming, the heroine is a brat, and you certainly won't guess the ending." So that certainly intrigued me, so I'm really excited to pick this one up. And finally, the last book I picked up is The Near Witch by Victoria Schwab. Now, I've heard some sort of mixed things about this one, but the description made it sound like something I'd really enjoy. It's sort of a strange, spooky ghost story with some mystery elements, and I believe this is her first published novel, and I've only read 1 or 2 books from her, but I really enjoyed them so far, and I am really excited to get to this one. This is another one that I think might be fun to read as it gets colder outside. Okay, those are all the books that I picked up in the last few months. I'm, of course, very excited to get to all of them at some point in the near future. There were quite a few fairy tale retellings in there, but I've also got a couple of contemporaries that I'm looking forward to, because that's a genre that I'm sort of trying to be more open to picking up. You guys should let me know down below if there's any books that you picked up recently that you are really looking forward to getting to. So that is all I have for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you soon with another video, and I hope you love the next book you read. Bye!